This video will go walk through on creating a label with data table to have variable text labels. This is text that changes from each label and on down the line. This is one of the more common features for TagPrint Pro, and it's easy to do and set up. If we can pull up the software here and go under File, and we'll just start new with the label wizard. Start with label design, and you don't have to use the wizard for this, but it is easy. Because our current label is tag 27T1 in 230 SM. We'll just go ahead and select that. And then for this, you want to all labels have to be the same amount of lines. So if we're going to have say a 3-line label, we're going to find this text from a data table grid button, and we're going to hit this 3 times, and you're going to get an A, B, and C. These are your 3 lines for each label. You can undo this. Here's a 2-line. You can create as many lines as you want, but we'll just start with a nice 3-line label. We're going to hit next, and if you don't have a Excel spreadsheet or a data table, you can create a new one by checking this box and hit finish. So we're going to have a label on one side and a table on the other side. You can go ahead and we'll zoom up this label a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Each of these 3 lines, A, B, C, corresponds to a column in the data table, A, B, C. Each row in the data table down the line here is an individual label. So this is label 1, label 2, label 3, label 4, and so on and so forth. If you have 25 labels, you're going to have 25 rows. And then each label will have the same 3 lines. Now we can enter and just manually type in text here. So we're going to type in, let's say, test 1, 2, 3, and A, B, C. Those are your 3 lines on the first label. Now you don't notice over here, you don't see that, but if we go up here to this little button that's got the A and it's been depressed, we can cycle that off, and you can see now that your information is showing up here. You can also see this by going to the print preview, and there's your label. Now you can go ahead and manually type in all the information down each of the rows. If you do leave, let's say a column blank, as in label 2, and we'll go ahead and cycle off, you can see that the second line is left blank. So if there's one label that's missing information, it doesn't matter. You're just going to have a blank line there. Now, with the data table feature as well, there is a way to create a sequence and build sequences, so you don't have to manually type in all the information. And if you go ahead, and we're going to overwrite our first couple labels here. If you select on cell A1, it could be any of the cells, and you can right mouse click on it, or you can go up to this 1, 2, 3 button, and you're going to get the sequence builder. And this is where you would put in a prefix. So if it's let's say it's AT and a dash, and then you're going to have your start and stop as your variables. So these can be either alphanumeric or numeric. We're going to go start with 1 and stop on, let's say, 50. And let's say I was put a suffix in of a dash, and let's say a TT. Now it's going to go, when you go hit start here, you can see it fills in each of the rows with that information with the variable, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it isn't putting in the leading 0 up in here until I hit fill of leading zeros, and check that and hit start, and you can see that now the zeros have filled in. We can also change this to put in number of each and sets. Number of each will be if you're going to have 2 labels on each side of the wire that are going to be the same. I can hit 2, and now you can see that I have an AT1, and then there's 2 sets of them. So it'll be this your first wire, second wire, third wire, with a label on each end. You can go ahead and actually click over here to B1, and let's say that I want to change this to a U. And you can see that I can easily start to fill in and make a nice set of labels. 50 labels really fast and easy. And there we go. We go ahead and close this. And you can see that as I roll down the rows, the labels change. If I go to print preview, you can see I have 100 labels because I have 2 of each of the 50. And so when it goes to print, it's going to print 2 of each of those rows of labels. And that is a very easy way to get set up and running with multiple labels. Just remembering that every row is a label and information is being pulled out from the columns. You can make pretty complex label sets by just knowing that information.